offbeat, but hey, maybe that's a new fun thing to do at the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fun for other people, but it was fun for me.
And that's all that matters. All right. Ace, how's it going?
How's it going?
I love our topic today.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. It's obviously really close to our hearts here. We talk about it all the time. And weapons of mass compassion.
Yeah. It's really, really sad as a human being to have to acknowledge the fact that it's something important for us and that we talk about it often.
Yeah.
Because realistically, it should be like a normal day-to-day conversation, right? Like, what is the priority in your life? Well, the priority in your life should be peace. Because if it isn't, then what's the other important thing would be the earth. And that's also part of peace, right?
Yeah.
It begins at home, and that's the challenge. And there are so many layers of our life where we need to gather emotional intelligence. But the thing is, we cannot gather emotional intelligence until we have enough vulnerability to say we suck. We all suck at stuff. The thing that I was the most horrible at in my life, I had no clue I was. Because you don't arrive in life with all of the answer, right? Like you gather them bits and pieces and then you become yourself. But what's tricky too is that when you remember things from your now perspective of yourself. And basically it's like, okay, I want to be a good person. I don't want to be a bad person. But then what is being good and what is being bad is very different if you go back in time and really travel and review everything that you went through. And it's kind of like that with the history of the world, right? It's a pattern. It's a pattern that is either on a small scale in a relationship or on a larger scale between countries. And we can't claim that we're going to solve world peace if we struggle at home. And here's the thing, man, marriages are hard. Like, I'm a romantic person. I love, but marriages are hard. And then children in there too.
Why is it hard though? Is it because of suddenly making that commitment that it's gonna be, you know what I mean? There is certain boundaries that are set. Is it that change of mindset that needs to happen as of that moment? Is it even marriages are hard before having kids?
Oh yeah.
So now throw kids into it, which is like other lives that are being affected by it. So of course, it becomes even more challenging. But the question is, why is it hard? And I mean, yes, it's hard, but there's beautiful moments as well, right? So talking about peace with regards to marriage or marriage.
See, it's even hard to say.
Like, what is it that is making that, making it that? I always wondered, because I think, I mean, my generation, when we were kids, were taught, okay, the movies we were watching were all Walt Disney movies where it was a princess getting rescued by a prince or whatever, and then they end up marrying, and that was it, happily ever after. But the happily ever after is not defined much. And in today's world, in the Western society, it's not even talked about. There's no marriage anymore in kids' movies. If you see there, it's more about other things. So the question is it better the way it is being presented today to kids? Because peace starts from home, but peace also starts at a young age. Before marriage, before when you are inside a home and you are realizing who you are, what your identity is. And with that comes all these sets of rules and ideas from your family, cultures what's okay, what's not okay. What does it mean to be a family? What does it mean to feel love, hate, whatever, right? So if you look at it from that perspective, as a kid, you're watching movies, you're watching all these kiddie shows, and what is being portrayed out there to kids, is that really what is happening? Is that really what is real life? And I'm all about creativity. I'm all about, getting the kids' minds going and things like that. But I think it starts from way, way earlier than just starting a life with someone. Because you as a child, as you're developing, you are now understanding what it is to have a relationship, your very first relationship. Who is that person you had your very first relationship? Was it a parent? Was it a friend? Was it a sibling? Who was it? And how did that bond occur? And how did that end up being or defining you as a person? Did it give you a good feeling or bad? And did you have something to model after to realize, hey, you know what? I love that relationship. That was a good relationship. That was good. Or were you just thinking it was good because everybody says so? So you're defining that. Sorry. Sorry.
I was not doing that to jump in. I was genuinely.
I get it. But it's really, it's like relationship peace really starts from the very beginning, from the time you are a baby even.
Yeah.
Entirely. I have a degree in psychology, so that always comes back to, even if you were your very first needs, whether it was eating or being taken care of or sleeping, was that habit actually, was that in that scale of normalcy, or was it far away from what was normal, right?
To me, the thing is that relationship is a science. And when you look at a science, it's a lot of different components, if you look at it from that standpoint, like all the blocks that construct a relationship. And while a lot of us, we don't know what these individual blocks are, it's also, if we look at it on the larger scales, we don't know how many blocks there's supposed to be. Now, I'll develop a bit on that because I know it's probably not fully clear. Thing is,
are you telling me I don't get you?
No, that's not what I mean. It's about awareness versus, so that's a question that is challenging in a relationship, I found. And I learned everything the hard way in my life, by the way. So you have something that you assume that it should be there. It should be part of the story, but it's not. And you are assuming that this would be a part of it. So as an example, that would be when you look at the person the way that they could be based on their potential, and then instead of, so, when you have green light, yellow light, red light, as you get to your relationship, there are certain things that were like, okay, that I'm accepting, that cannot stay. But I have faith that it's going to change. And then you got to choose what is it that it's okay to keep and what is it that it's not okay to keep, right? And that's challenge because that's only based on your own experience in life, because you don't know you have to ask for something if you were never exposed to that even being a question itself. And that creates the first part where it's like a ghost. We are seeing this missing part all the time, but that person is not aware of it. And that's the difficulty. And that's why communication is so important.
That's it. Yeah.
Then you have awareness of it, which is great. And then it's going to be either awareness that you're doing something about it, awareness that you are making it worse because you're using that as ammo. And then you start villainizing, and there's like all the, or there's, okay, let's look at this and then let's fix that. And then there's the other one right between these two, and that's the being oblivious. And oblivious, that's difficult if it's one person and not the two of them. See, if both of you are oblivious, then
why don't you define that?
Okay.
Like oblivious. What is it to you? What does it mean to you?
Okay.
Being oblivious?
Let's say that you are doing something that you are not realizing that you're doing it because it was normalized in your life. And that is the challenge when we normalize things at home. And that's why we have to take a stand. We have to make sure that we are vulnerable enough and that we are capable of saying, look, that doesn't seem right, but let me think about it a little bit and then we'll come back to it and talk some more, or then you look into it. Sometime, people, like, let's say cultural differences and things like that, right? Like, it can be the difference between someone walking the house with their shoes and someone doesn't, because that's a different perspective. That's how you're raised. That's your culture. That's a lot of different thing, right? The way you eat and all of this. So that's really the challenge, that's something that for you is perfectly normalized, but for someone else, it's absolutely unacceptable. Now, put that with the angle you were saying. Let's say you arrive in a new country, and even within a new country, there are all of these silos of cultures and religions, and
even more so in a country like Canada.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that while all of this is not simple, it doesn't mean that you just have to say, oh, well, I didn't know. Okay, sure, you didn't know, and that was not okay. But now you know, and help telling people that this is not okay, right? And that's extremely important, because if everything is taboo, how do we move forward? Sorry.
No. I just wanted to jump right in because you're going to jump into another topic. I think if you are to know, to say that this was wrong, it requires for you to accept it too, though. Because a lot of the times people will not accept that this is normal. This is abnormal.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
That's where conflicts start to happen. But anyway, sorry, I just wanted to add that piece.
No, that's good. No, I mean, it's a back and forth. But it's crazy, because sometimes there are things that we could be doing that are horrible, but it's normalized. And that's where you have generational trauma that come in. That's the next layer of this, right? So generational trauma would be those negative things that were happening in your home growing up, as an example, and that it's being passed down from generation to generation.
Normal.
As normal, right? And that's why we have to take a step back and look from different angle, different perspective, and always ask yourself, am I potentially the bad guy in this story? Without wearing it all, like, you got to be able to communicate, and you got to communicate your thought process, not your result. And that is the biggest problem that can have a relationship completely fail. If, let's say, one person is talking thought process and the other person is talking result, it's just as bad sometimes as avoiding to talk together, because if the thought process is not shared, how do we know how the person got to it, right? Like, there should be years of communication and trials and mistakes, adding knowledge to it and all of this. But if someone is an outward person that speak his thought process, and the other person is an inward person that just say the result or their impression of what is happening, that's just not compatible.
That's it. You don't think they're compatible if one is more inward and the intrinsic and the other one is more extrinsic. Did I say right?
We get the gist.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that in that case, when you truly love someone, you're going to make the effort to realize that there are things that you're doing that are not acceptable. And you're going to make that extra effort to change. And there's the difference, right? Don't be with someone that wants you to change entirely. Be with someone that wants you to evolve. And that's another challenge in a relationship. See, to me, I'm someone that moves forward. It's also a generational trauma thing. But I feel like I have to be way further in life by the time that I die than I was when I was a child, my starting point, and that my children are supposed to carry that on because that's the way that I was raised. That's a part of what I believe in. But not everybody think like that. And sometimes it makes that really difficult because, like, let's say in the military, as an example, I was in the army for 23 years, and then often there were people in the military that they didn't want to go up in rank. Why? Because they loved their job. They didn't want the extra responsibility. They didn't want to have to learn something new. And they were great at it, right? That's the thing. That was that corporate knowledge type thing, continuity through them. And then eventually it changed where career progression was really more pushed on there. I'm assuming they needed more people in the upper leadership. But that's a problem, right?
Not everybody wants to.
Not everybody wants to. Now,
some people are happy with their current present situations. And
yes.
That's the problem. Because, what you're saying. Yeah. If somebody's happy with their current situation and you have another partner that's constantly wanting to try out different things and grow and, do these different things, it's gonna create that problem because one is happy, yet the other one, their source of happiness is through having those growth because that's how they see themselves. And anyways, what you're saying, I just don't want to.
No, it's good.
Thought
it's
process
good.
because it's true. It's and then life happens, and that's when you realize, are we going in the same direction, or are the two directions going in two separate ways? Where one person is thinking, I really am happy with everything, yet this other person is like, well, I'm glad from your perspective you're happy because that's what you wanted. Yet the other person is like, no, I'm not happy where we are. We have to go farther. I wonder if that has got to do with, again, where they came from and their family culture and their mindset culture and what they grew up with and what you said, which is their what was considered normal in their family,
So yes, but it's a yes, but. So to go back to the military angle, because I think that's going to help answer that. At first, a lot of people, change is always difficult. So a lot of people were complaining against it. And I made my own observation of the pros and cons. And there was also a lot of pros. And some of that is that we were ensuring that all type of people were able to go up. And that's a big deal, right?
Giving that opportunity to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, that was interesting. That was good. And I think it can be like that in a relationship too, where in a relationship, you're supposed to help each other up, right? You're supposed to do everything you can so that together you move forward. Or if one person doesn't want that, and then fully push the other person to go up, if the other person go up, and then the other one's entitled that person to do what they want, as long as it's agreed upon, and it's not an assumption that become another obliviousness that about the other person, then that's fine, right? Like that's why communication is necessary. Otherwise, you're going to fight about things that it's going to be speaking two different languages because there's going to be awareness on one side, obliviousness on the other side, and then same thing the other way around. And might as well speak to other people because it's not going to be a communication whatsoever. And the thing is, to loop that back to our topic, it's the same thing between countries. It's the same thing between neighbors. It's the same thing between coworkers. These are patterns in life that we can observe as we evolve in society, and that's not new. Like, if you look at philosophers and if you look at historical figure, look at TV shows or children legends and storybooks, were not a new thing, humans. we've been sucking at being humans for a long time. And we have all the answers already, but we're so busy fighting that we are not fixing things that could be simple because we're saying, well, it's not simple for me.
So fighting about what though? I think what are we fighting? We're fighting exactly about the same things that are not working in a relationship between two people, which is see it my way. That's not normal. This is my way.
Yeah.
And the other person's like, no, my way is better than your way, and things like that. Really, it comes down to that.
But here's the problem.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the focus. The focus
That
should be
celebrated.
empathy.
Yeah.
The focus should be healthy communication. It should be vulnerability. It should be learning and I know I said communication, but really legit active communication, and being aware of conscious and subconscious communication and the cultural barriers often between that two. Like all of these angles at becoming a master communicator, at becoming better and better at relating and understanding the person that we're talking with. That's what we got to focus on discussing. Why you're not fighting about it as a human being. That's if you're going to fight for something, fight to become better at not fighting. Otherwise, anything else is redundant, right? You got to work toward what you want. If you're fighting about something because you failed to communicate, learn to communicate. Learn to make those compromises that are necessary in all of this. Learn that the other person's perspective is just as valid as yours. Right? These are those life skills that somehow you don't need a driver's license to, you don't need a life license to be a human being. But we got to stop sucking as human. This is 2025. We are, as a human society, planning on going to Mars while we're still screwing up the earth right now. Right? And no,
it's true.
The thing is, so for those who haven't watched the news, there was another big scandal in regards to Elon Musk, and I'm dropping Elon Musk as a topic here because there's there's the Project X that Elon Musk's big thing is to go to Mars. And people are fighting about, is that right? Is that good? This person, is that person this? Is that person that? And then all the lateral violence. Like, let's say that from a social group, someone climb up to the top and then help realizing, really achieving stuff and bringing a voice and bringing everything that's needed. Yeah. Is that what the emphasis is going to be on? No. It's going to be on someone else that wanted to be that person, and then there's going to be lateral violence, right? Humans suck. It's just we need to learn that none of those topics is what we got to focus on. Why are we talking about anything else than learning the basics on how to be a human? It's literally no difference as if you walk around in your life and you poop in your pants your entire life. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You stink, and then you gotta wash yourself. It's illogical. No, but it's the same thing, right? Yeah. Like you teach a kid to wipe their butt properly.
Well, Persians, we do something else.
Is that a generational trauma you'd like to talk about?
Take a shower. How about that?
Okay, sure.
Whatever happened to water?
Well,
the way to wash yourself.
But that's the thing. No, that's funny because everybody poop on Earth, right? And meanwhile, even that topic is like, hey, that bring up a different memory. Yeah. And again, with conversation, with empathy.
Let's just say I'm glad that bidets are a thing in Canada now. Yay, we made it.
That what is a thing now?
Bidets.
Oh yeah, I love bidets. They're awesome.
Are a thing right
totally
now.
off topic, but in Tokyo, Disney World, not Disney World, Harry Potter place in Tokyo. Anyway, they the buttons on the bidet, there's one with a little wand on it. And you know what? I kept pushing it and nothing happened. but maybe something did. I'm
Harry
not sure
Potter.
what the wand was,
Like
but
Harry Potter. Okay,
yeah.
it makes sense.
So if you guys been there, please leave a comment and tell me what the wand was supposed to do, because I haven't seen any magic yet. For people that never use a bidet, they're going to be like, what is he talking about?
Bidet sales
All right.
go up, and this part of our program was sponsored by Bidet Canada.
Yeah, let's start a bidet company. Bidet by Anna Alemi.
Bidet AI. All right.
Yay. All right. Where were we? I remember poop, bidet, there was something in between.
No, you said being human. How
Yeah,
is it
yeah, but
okay?
what-
How is it okay for us to like that? That is not okay, and that's what we learned as a kid. Right? But being human is the topic you were talking about.
Yeah. So empathy.
See, I was listening.
Empathy comes from exposure, and it comes from experience. What you're exposed to makes you be able to relate to it. And when you can relate to something, it makes you feel safe. So something absolutely horrible can make you feel safe because it's familiar. And that's the big difficulty on that, right? That is a very serious difficulty, because then one person, it's their trauma trigger, let's say perhaps as an example, or maybe even because they've healed from that when it happened in their own childhood. But then from the other person that doesn't want to hear about it or to acknowledge it or then that's a problem. So it's the same thing with countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of countries, you know, not too long ago, there was mini war, but a very, very serious war that happened between Iran and Israel. And of course, that's really close to my heart, because it's crazy that in such a short span of period, you know, this, first of all, it was such a shock. And to hear family and friends get either being stuck there, they were visiting from Canada and just stuck in the middle of a war suddenly. Or, you know, I've had family that had to leave certain areas of Iran to be safe, and just seeing them through video and the fear in their eyes for something that they had absolutely no reason to be part of, yet their life is now in jeopardy. It's tough, and it's crazy that it is year 2025 and we're still having these conflicts happen and escalate to such a degree that the human life is nothing. Really.
And that's why I dropped Elon Musk earlier. It was not to promote him, by the way. Elon, you screwed up many things recently. I gotta tell you that. That's okay.
In case you didn't hear.
Somehow the lights are gonna start blinking and things are gonna fall. I'm gonna have some army or robot coming in. For real though, I've respected Elon Musk for a long time, and I loved his brand. I loved his vision.
I think a lot of people.
He's a weirdo, but I'm a bit of a weirdo too, so I could relate with that. And
you are a weirdo.
That's okay. That's part of my identity. The thing is, it sucks because, like, I used to tell my son, make sure you pay attention to Elon Musk and the media. And my son was like, I don't like Elon Musk. Like, why would I have to follow the guy or hear about him? And I was saying, well, look, someone with that much power, you got to pay attention, because you know that he's going to keep going up. And
success leaves clues.
the thing is, the government, they don't really lead what's going to happen as much as what money, companies, these companies, what they're doing. And Elon Musk is at the head of innovation for his field, and with his big project to go to Mars, so much power and capability in the hand of someone that humans don't have a say into. And then when he started to be homie with Trump, right away I was like, oh man, this is not gonna go well, because here's two, there's the ego, like Elon Musk, the pride of what he does and all this, and then Trump, of course, the ego too, right? Of course they're gonna clash. They are two outward individual. They're both eccentric. And in regards to Trump, I'm gonna have that I could say much more, but I'm not gonna, because good. This is a friendly show. Oh, hi, President. But when it comes to Elon Musk, the thing is, whether he gets elected or not, he's still the guy. So if we look at this as a relationship, my goal in life is peace. Now,
you said something interesting, though. I have to.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, you said if somebody is really inward and outward, they can't connect in a relationship.
They just have to figure out how they fit in.
But then you have Elon Musk and Trump, who are very much outward, and they should connect, but they're clashing. So I'm just weird.
Oh, that was easy to read for everybody. The thing is that it was one of those relationships.
So is it good? My question is it good to have a complementary, the inward and outward kind of person, or is it better to have two outward people because they're so alike and they're just gonna be able to move to the same destination together because they see it, or
I think
is
it's
it
a
better
case
to have that support, which is the inward person helping the outward person grow?
I think it's a case by case. But you know what? Maybe we should start a TV show that is country matchmaking or city matchmaking. We can call it Country Island or Earth Island.
I think there's already a lot of dating shows.
But I mean, at least we generate world peace instead of generating Botox and stuff like that, and like phoniness.
There is nothing wrong with Botox. If you like Botox, go for it.
Okay.
Just don't have
Looking for a sponsor. So Elon Musk and Trump. My own reading of the situation, right away, Elon his inner child was excited to have a big bro.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
Trump was using that, knowing that he was going to drop him. And everyone seemed to be telling that to Elon Musk. But he thought that he finally found someone as powerful as him on the same level, and that they could, have the same vision together. The deal at first, it was that Elon's dream is to go to Mars and to die on Mars, and all of his company and all of his action, that's why he's doing this, right? That's his goal that he's working on. Not humanity or the Earth itself, but let's go to Mars. So that, okay, sure, like you have a vision, you want to do this, that's cool. And the thing is, with that, Trump was going to help him to say that Mars was going to become United States. And consequently, Tesla was going to become, the big company over there, which was going to be, the USA ad type of thing.
I just find it so interesting that we can't even figure out here Earth, and they are suddenly claiming to have another, to decide for yet another planet. I mean, who gives them the right to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And that is why I am putting this on the table. Send that on Twitter to Elon. I don't agree with Elon's political view. I don't agree, and I don't even like a lot of things that Elon is doing. But he's also doing tons of other things that have immense potential.
That are
right?
awesome, yeah.
And I am saying this card on the table, not for self-promotion or crap like that, like what Trump was doing, because he helped them win the election, he sponsored everything. And I know that it's going to be a bit hard to trust after that, because it really injured his image and his company and his life goal. Like, I don't know how he's doing right now, but I mean, if we look at him with empathy as a human being, that was tough. But you know what? In the same time, everything happens for a reason. And I think that he has learned a lot from that, or at least I would like to think that. And instead of being in a relationship where I'm just going to project previous issues that I'm going to keep throwing in his face. No, but you did this. No, but you did that. If we cannot accept that people can change if they're willing to, then we're telling people, what's the point of being good? Because as humans, we all screw up. Now, when it comes to some of the stuff that he was doing, though, it's not a screw up, because that's just absolutely unacceptable. So what he has to do is simply to admit that it was wrong and entitle people to explain why it was wrong at an intellectual level that he's gonna understand. Like, the guy is all about science. Like, let's quantify why his mistake was messed up. Let's get him to apologize, and let's refocus his thing. You know how he arrived as Doge and then he put his vision in there? Well, here's the deal. That's what we're trying to do. We are trying to, okay, so realtors make money, right? Housing industry is something that there's a lot of money that go around there, right? And then, so here we have realty that is a major source of income. And then over here, we have AI technology. AI technology is supporting and helping, empowering realtors and clients as much as possible. And that's why we have this weaved into AI company. Now, with this that we're generating over here, we are able to focus on world peace. So what I'm saying is, what we're trying to do right here, and to start from scratch, because we're not Elon Musk. We don't have the funding to go to Mars. We are trying to generate healing and world peace on this planet. And Elon, if you want to help us and help your image, because you're going to be a part of the solution when it comes to leave to dissociate human and create superior race and all of this, and that's messed up. Like, come on. We can't leave this place until we clean it up of that stuff, and you don't fix a war with war. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If you break a glass that is full of wine on your kitchen floor or on your carpet, are you going to go get a mop and clean it? Or are you going to drop another one and then drop a bottle on it and then drop something else and then put a carpet over it and then it's sponged through and then you restart the process? That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What we are doing, Anna Alemi real estate team.
Hey, you got it right.
Yeah. So what we are doing is that while Anna is producing these revenues with our top realtors that we're getting, and we're very selective, we are using this to fund our machine, where we are creating AI to understand what we're dealing with too, because with social media being how humans communicate right now, and with AI being in there, we can't compete peace versus war. And we're trying to do things with intelligence and heart, and not just by throwing money or doing things like that. We want long-term solution. We want to be the Earth's couples therapy. Other people had claimed that in the past. but then money got involved in there, so we gotta have our own source of revenue. So what we're trying to do to stay independent from bigger influence, because yeah, we could have Elon Musk that help us, but is that what we want to do, right? And if it is, Elon, convince us and we'll help convince on a concept where every time someone buy a home, every time someone sell a home, we're actually putting that toward genuine effort on generating world peace. Now, please understand this. I have been around a lot of charities in my life, and I friend of charity owners.
Yep.
I've worked anyway in many different levels, right? And so much of it is crap because so much of the budget goes in advertisement.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Goes to promote the actual organization itself rather than what it's meant to help support.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
And as a realtor company, promoting our realtors, promoting our company, subsequently helps in promoting our organizations.
Yep.
And then the AI platform also help us to do this, right? So that everything is in-house. Similar to what Elon Musk is doing, because Elon has, he owns every part of it, right? Like that's how companies grows. It's like, okay, I need that part now repeatedly. So I'm gonna buy the place where it's made. And then I'm going to buy the truck company that is bringing it over here.
Yep.
And then with that there are different materials. I'm going to buy all the company that are doing that, right? Like that's not what we're doing. I'm just explaining like how you really dominate the market as one of those top people on there, like what guys like Elon is doing, right? Like you own every aspect of your industry. Well, our industry is weaved right now. There's the real estate market that we are doing everything we can to provide the best quality service when someone needs to buy or sell a home. And then with that, we are weaving our AI company and our World Peace organization. I did not join the company because I wanted to make money or because of houses or anything like that. But Anna and I, we actually share that vision. Like many human beings at some point in our life, we wanted world peace. We wanted to be involved in trying to make that happen. And then the disillusion happened and we stopped believing in it. And when we met each other, we really connected on intellectual level, and world peace was actually one of our topic. And the thing is, if people like us, or like if you're a human being and you gave up on peace,
That's sad. Yeah.
that's sad. That's sad, and that's a trauma. That's a trauma that we need to heal globally. Hope for peace with AI. Well, that's the thing too, right? AI is going to be there here or not, whether we villainize it or whatever.
With AI and real estate, how about that?
Was that?
With AI and real estate.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
AI and real estate, there are
And both
so
of
many
them
tools.
are either loved or hated, but it is what it is. But same with the idea of world peace, which is crazy because peace is something that you really need to want to have. Peace is the ultimate, I think it should be the ultimate dream, because that's where happiness is. That's where amazing relationships are. That's where, everything, that's where it is.
So
And I know it seems a little philosophical and crazy, and I used to think that too, but if we don't go as far as just believing in it and just believing that there is hope for such a thing, then what's the point of anything else? Is there a meaning to life after that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So I have a 2-acre land in Canada, and I absolutely love trees. I'm like obsessed with trees. I can't ever walk between point A and B without picking up pine cone or stopping to stare at a branch for an hour kind of thing. I really, really love trees and nature itself. And as I was coming out of depression, through that, I was spending a lot of time in the forest. And when you stand still in the forest and really take the time to look from all angle at the same trees, to see them every day through the season, to see how the story of the tree, how it moved, like let's say there's a fence and then they had to go through the fence, or there was another tree, or then they're super skinny and long, and then because of that, like they keep competing and they keep going higher, and then it makes a forest that is so busy competing together that it just like, it goes like that, right, on the wind, and it looks weird, and then it affects more what's at the bottom. The thing is that's what we have to do with countries. That's what we have to do with human beings. We have to have enough humility and vulnerability to take a step back and say, look, when it comes to that, we suck. But we are super proud of this, and then that's when it gets hard. When that thing that they're super proud of, that might be someone else's biggest problem. And these are the things that we need to put emphasis on, so that we stop to lack. We need to generate awareness. You cannot master anything beyond great awareness. And our awareness of all the patterns, of all of these things that keep happening, like pick a country that is at war, and then regardless of the country, ask yourself, is that a new war or has it been around? Well, if it has been around, have you done couples counseling? And then if couples counseling did happen, then was it a good couple counselor? Because guess what? If 1,000 years later, you're still fighting, then maybe we gotta look at other solutions. But if nobody is willing to talk about it other than, oh, you shoot me, I shoot you. That's stupid. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
Yeah.
To show that, oh yeah, I puff my chest, I'm tough now. You see, don't mess with me. So, let's say it's a bully contest. It should be a hug contest. And you know what? Sure, maybe you're going to look weak from doing that. Do you rather your people looking weak and humble for a moment while you hug the other person that you don't necessarily like, but you're trying to say, look, heart to heart, let's give this a shot, right? If you're not willing to do this for a moment so that your people can blossom and be healthy and have the resources and not have all of these struggle, then you shouldn't be the leader. And we got to stop picking our leaders when their focus is war. Anybody that is choosing war, it's not the right solution. And the thing is, the military, we also offer a lot of other things than war. Like there's tons of resource that the military can bring. And why not doing that? Right? Look at the temperature change worldwide. And yeah, sure, there's people that are going to argue with that. Again, there are people that are going to argue with flat earth or round earth, or people are going to argue about everything because that's what humans do.
Right.
So what I'm saying is when you buy a home from Anna Alemi Real Estate, what we are focusing on is to create a global organization that will help people to focus where the effort should be, which is communication, empathy, and all of this on a large scale. That's what we're trying to do. So we have our three companies braided. I'm going to reiterate to put emphasis how you understand how I work. We have the real estate business, which generate funds. We have the AI company, which helps empower the real estate and, it's mutual relationship. And then we have the World Peace organization that we're working on. It was called the Zen Orchard. You know what? We might change the name. Elon, if you come on board, maybe we'll make it Peace X if you're nice. And then Elon is going to say, well, what stopped me from doing that myself?
Hard.
True, but that's my life's goal. And that's Anna's life's goal. And that's the difference. And just like you want to repent yourself right now, because if you don't want to repent yourself, then you're being oblivious. So you got to realize that you screwed up on a few things. And then be honest about it, because I know you are. I know that every human have a good heart under certain things. So if you want my respect back and the respect from all those people that you've lost because they looked up to you, and then eventually you started to do really weird stuff, that's okay. I'm weird too. But let's be weird toward world peace at least as much as you're trying to go to Mars. I think that's only fair. All right? So on this, I guess.
I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for a good loop. I know I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And on that note, let's say if you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us, like us, share us with your friends. And next week, we'll be back, I believe, with an awesome guest.
It's better be Elon. Guys, please help me get Elon here. That's my challenge for you. Any one of you, I don't know if you got to post it on X or whatever, if you got to AI it to figure out how to do it. I tried to get the guy's email. It's very difficult. Elon, this is a friendly show. We are not against you. We are with you as a human being. Mm-hmm. And I know you love robots. I love robots. But you lost a bit of your humanity from global perspective right now because you associated yourself with someone that is very controversial. And now you have a chance to come here and to help us in building peace. And if you don't...
For our current world. For our world.
Yeah. Like, why reproducing something somewhere else when it's not working, right? Like...
generational drama now,
yeah.
Or a trauma. drama.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be planetary trauma, generational planetary trauma.
I got a brain fart. What do you call it when you have a business that's perfect model and then you're reproducing that with a branding kit? What do you call that again? Like when you sell the right for someone else to. Oh,
you're talking about
I know the word well. I don't know why. I can't remember.
The more you talk about it, it's
okay,
sorry.
No pressure.
Okay. What is it happening right now?
Boston Pizza or all of those kind of things. Yeah, Boston Pizza. Send us a free pizza.
Chain restaurants. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're both working business. There. We're both business owner. Okay, so sorry, brain fart. So with that, it's okay. What I'm saying is, let's make that. Let's brand peace with us.
What?
You see billboard everywhere of different things or, advertisement. We want to focus on peace, what is being taught in school, what is everywhere. But anyway, we've talked enough and...
I'm still stuck on what it's called. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, you're not going to sleep tonight, sorry.
Not licensed, but... Oh, what is that called?
Exactly. Anna found it.
All right.
That thing.
Wow, thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's done for today. Are we gonna do the mix? You push the first one and then I mix. Team effort.
Love it.
Oh. Yeah, that's not good right now.
I'm not sure.
I talk too much. Let's see. Can you do it? You can do better. Just kidding. Are we out or are we still in?
No, we're almost out.